Neal Foster came to London to take matters into his own hands. He's already interviewed stars like Dustin Hoffman and Derek Jacobi. Today it was the turn of Jack Lemmon. Tasneem Siddiqui reports.
It's every actor's dream to appear on stage in London with a famous star. But for Neal Foster, it's almost become a habit. Veteran actor Jack Lemmon is the 13th celebrity he's interviewed this year, all in order to raise money to put on his own play.
Acting is the main thing. Does it ever become an obsession? Does acting, I mean, to get to your position, does it have to be an obsession?
I think it has to be. Oh, yes.
And what form does that obsession take?
Well, a slight form of stupidity when one is young. Egomania, stupidity.
It's been fantastic. I went up to London and saw Prunella Scales walking towards her theatre, so I thought, well, perhaps I ought to go and ask her. So I ran up to her and said, would you do an interview? And she said, sure. And she put it straight in her diary. And while I was talking to her, Alan Bennett came up. And I said, well, will you do an interview? And he said, oh, yeah, fine. So I realised I was onto a good thing. So I had about half an hour left, and I started running up and down the stage doors. Fortunately, they all started arriving. And by the time I walked away from the West End, I had 7 actors.
While I admire his enterprise, it is very sad that a highly trained and motivated young actor like him has to go to such lengths to obtain his next job. 20 years ago, a young actor like Mr. Foster would have probably been working on a 6-month contract in a repertory theatre. Regrettably, mainly due to the lack of public funding for the arts, repertory theatres are only able now to offer very short engagements.
After being unemployed for nearly a year, Neal has now virtually raised the £15,000 he needs to put on his own production of Chekhov's The Seagull. But he admits it hasn't been easy.
I didn't start until I was in my 30s, and I just love it. I love the idea.
I find it very difficult when I'm not acting, because it's the only thing that makes me happy. I mean, all these interviews have been a great fun and very exciting, but they haven't come near what it's like to walk on a stage when you're about to perform, even if it's only 10 lines. I've just been very nervous, but I don't get that kick at all from doing these interviews.
Mr. Jack Lemmon.